Hello friends, this is Bishop Andy C. Luter, and I'm delighted to welcome you to our online Bible College video theological lecture series. This video lecture is part of our course on the papacy and concentrates on several of the outstanding persons who have served as popes in the Roman Catholic Church over the last 2,000 years. Now, while there have been literally hundreds of popes since the establishment of the office, several of them are worthy of our time and attention because of how their decisions and actions have impacted the world of Christianity in general and the Roman Catholic Church in particular. Now, some might wonder why we as Protestants have any interest in the papacy. The answer to this question is twofold. First, the Roman Catholic Church has one of the longest histories and traditions in the world. For 3/4 of the last 2,000 years, that history has been part of our own. It has only been since the Protestant Reformation, led by Martin Luther, who in fact himself was a member of the Roman Catholic Church, that our histories have been separated. Therefore, by understanding the history of Roman Catholicism, we inadvertently learn something about ourselves. The second reason a study of the papacy has value for us is because of our recognition and usage of the episcopacy or the bishopric. At its core, the Pope is the Bishop of Rome, and to examine the office of the papacy, we are in fact examining a key and critical component of our own ecclesiology. For that reason and more, we hope that you will find this particular video lecture to be of great value and information. I would remind our viewers that because we hold dear the theological concept of apostolic succession, we have an appreciation for the papacy because part of our apostolic lineage is tied to the historic operation of the papacy. That having been said, let's take a look at some of the people who have left lasting legacies in the office of the Pope. We begin with the historic belief that the Apostle Peter was the first Bishop of Rome and therefore the first Pope. This teaching is based upon the biblical passage in Matthew and John where Peter is awarded the keys to the kingdom and told that whatever he blesses will be blessed and whatever he curses will be cursed. This incident is said to have taken place at Caesarea Philippi, where Jesus says to Peter, "Upon this rock I will build my church." I should note that as Protestants, we believe that the church is not built upon the personality of Peter, but rather the truth that he spoke. "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." However, the Catholic perspective awards authority and later infallibility to Peter, which forms the basis of the papacy. The second Bishop of Rome, and therefore Pope, is that of Linnaeus, who for us begins the lengthy line of apostolic succession. The next Pope that we would like to share with you in this particular listing is that of Leo I, who is also referred to in history as Leo the Great. The great act of this Pope that has placed him in the Papal Hall of Fame is his confrontation of Attila the Hun, who was set to ransack and destroy the city of Rome. It is reported that Pope Leo went out to meet the barbarian not with arms, but with prayer, and convinced him to spare the city. Pope Alexander of Alexandria is the next pope that we would like to consider because of the role that he played in calling together the first of 21 ecumenical church councils that would make major decisions regarding the life and direction of the church. Working alongside Emperor Constantine, he helped to establish the Council of Nicaea, which produced the Apostles' Creed along with so many other items. In 366 AD, Pope Damasus begins his reign as Pope right in the midst of the Arian controversy. During the papacy of Damasus, he appoints Jerome as his secretary, which results in the formation of a Latin version of the Bible called the Editio Vulgata. For that reason, we honor him for indirectly providing us with a link that would result in the production of our modern Bible today. Born June 12, 816, Pope Leo III was born when he assumed the papacy. The power of Western Europe had moved to France. Consequently, Leo III is worthy of our attention and consideration because it was him who confirmed and coronated Charlemagne, known to many as Charles the Great, as the emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. His presiding over the coronation served to suggest that even sovereigns and kings were subject to the authority of the Pope. Continuing this idea of monarchical subordination to the Pope is the actions and life of Pope Urban II. Urban II served as Pope from 1088 until 1099. It was during this time that he preached his famous sermon that called upon Christians in Europe to rise up with arms and travel to the Holy Land to retake the lands lost to the Muslims during the Middle Ages. This call to arms launched the Crusades that would ravage Europe and the Middle East for the next 200 years. The Protestant Reformation was perhaps one of the most pivotal events in all of church history. The movement was headed by Martin Luther, along with several other scholars and churchmen of the period. It was Pope Leo X who excommunicated Martin Luther, which opened the door to the Protestant Reformation. It was Pope Pius IX who convened one of the major events in Catholic history, commonly referred to as the First Vatican Council. The council was held in 1868 and took place in St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. One of the main accomplishments of the council was to affirm the doctrine of the infallibility of the Pope, which provided the Pope with immense authority in the Roman Catholic Church. History regards the 21st Ecumenical Council also as the Second Vatican Council, or Vatican II. This council began in 1962 under the papacy of Pope John XXIII and did not conclude until 1965 under Pope Paul VI. The council was called to respond to neo-scholasticism and included in attendance at its opening session the four men who would all become popes themselves. The most recent popes, who therefore are best known to us, include Pope John Paul II, who served from 1978 until 2005. Not only did Pope John Paul II have one of the longest reigns as Pope, but he is distinguished as being one of the only non-Italian popes to have been elected in over 100 years. The current Pope continues the modern trend of electing non-Italian popes. Pope Benedict XVI is a German theologian who currently serves the Roman Catholic Church. Well, friends, that concludes this video lecture on papal personalities. I am Bishop Andy C. Luter, your host and lecturer for today. We pray that you have found this lecture valuable, and we look forward to seeing you soon.